The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed the birth of the automobile. This era marked a significant turning point in human history, as the invention of the automobile revolutionized transportation and mobility. People were no longer confined to the limitations of horse-drawn carriages or the slow pace of walking. The automobile opened up new possibilities for travel, commerce, and the way cities were designed and expanded. Electric vehicles, or EVs, emerged as strong contenders in this nascent industry. They were seen as a promising alternative to the steam and gasoline-powered vehicles that were also being developed at the time. The idea of using electricity to power vehicles was innovative and forward-thinking, capturing the imagination of inventors and the public alike. They offered several advantages over their steam and gasoline-powered counterparts. For one, electric vehicles were much easier to start. Unlike gasoline cars, which required a hand crank to get the engine running, electric cars could be started with the simple turn of a key or the push of a button. This made them more user-friendly and accessible to a broader range of people. EVs were significantly quieter, making city driving more pleasant. The absence of loud engine noises meant that urban environments were less chaotic and more serene. This was particularly appreciated in bustling cities where noise pollution was already a growing concern. They also lacked the vibrations and fumes associated with early combustion engines, making them more comfortable to ride in. The smooth and quiet operation of electric vehicles provided a more enjoyable and less stressful driving experience. Passengers could converse without shouting over engine noise, and the absence of exhaust fumes made the air cleaner and healthier. Furthermore, EVs were simpler to operate as they did not require the complicated gear shifting of early gasoline cars. This simplicity made electric vehicles particularly appealing to those who were not mechanically inclined or who found the operation of gasoline cars intimidating. The ease of use of electric vehicles contributed to their early popularity. Prominent figures like Thomas Edison and Ferdinand Porsche contributed to the early development of EVs. Their involvement brought credibility and attention to the electric vehicle industry. Edison, with his expertise in electricity and batteries, and Porsche, with his innovative engineering designs, played crucial roles in advancing the technology and feasibility of electric vehicles. Edison worked on improving battery technology, while Porsche designed one of the world's first hybrid vehicles, the Lohner Porsche Mixte. Edison's work on batteries aimed to increase the range and efficiency of electric vehicles, addressing one of the main limitations of early EVs. Porsche's hybrid design combined an internal combustion engine with electric motors, showcasing the potential for combining different power sources to enhance vehicle performance. By the early 1900s, EVs enjoyed considerable popularity, particularly in urban areas. Their quiet operation and ease of use made them ideal for city driving. Electric vehicles were seen as modern and sophisticated, appealing to the urban elite and forward-thinking individuals who wanted to embrace new technology. Electric taxis were common in major cities like New York and London. These electric taxis provided a reliable and efficient means of transportation for city dwellers. They were particularly popular among those who valued the clean and quiet operation of electric vehicles, as well as the convenience of not having to deal with the complexities of gasoline engines. Companies like Detroit Electric and Flocken Electrowagen manufactured and sold thousands of EVs. These companies were pioneers in the electric vehicle industry, producing a range of models that catered to different needs and preferences. Their success demonstrated the viability of electric vehicles and their potential to become a mainstream mode of transportation. These early successes hinted at a future dominated by electric transportation. The advancements in electric vehicle technology and the growing popularity of EVs suggested that electric cars could become the dominant form of transportation. The potential for a cleaner, quieter, and more efficient mode of transportation was an exciting prospect for the future. However, the dominance of EVs would be short-lived. Despite their early promise, electric vehicles faced significant challenges that hindered their widespread adoption. The limitations of battery technology, such as limited range and long charging times, were major obstacles that needed to be overcome. A series of technological advancements and economic factors would soon tip the scales in favor of gasoline-powered vehicles. The development of the electric starter made gasoline cars easier to operate, and the discovery of vast oil reserves made gasoline more affordable and accessible. These factors, combined with the mass production techniques pioneered by Henry Ford, made gasoline cars more practical and economical for the average consumer. The automobile industry was on the cusp of a transformation, and EVs would soon find themselves struggling to keep up. The rapid advancements in gasoline vehicle technology and the economic advantages of gasoline cars led to a decline in the popularity of electric vehicles. The once promising future of electric transportation was overshadowed by the rise of gasoline-powered cars, setting the stage for the automotive landscape that would dominate the 20th century. While early EVs enjoyed their moment in the sun, the internal combustion engine was rapidly evolving. These early electric vehicles, though innovative, were limited by the technology of their time, particularly in terms of battery life and charging infrastructure. Despite their quiet operation and ease of use, they couldn't compete with the burgeoning advancements in gasoline engines. Innovations like the carburetor and the spark plug significantly improved the efficiency and reliability of gasoline engines. These components allowed for better fuel combustion and more consistent engine performance, which were critical in making gasoline engines more viable for everyday use. The improvements in engine technology were not just incremental, they were revolutionary, setting the stage for a new era in automotive history. This led to increased power and range, making gasoline cars a more attractive proposition for long-distance travel. The ability to travel further without frequent stops for refueling was a game-changer. Families could now embark on road trips, and businesses could transport goods over longer distances more efficiently. The freedom and flexibility offered by gasoline cars were unparalleled at the time. The introduction of Henry Ford's Model T in 1908 marked a turning point in automotive history. The Model T was not just a car. It was a symbol of innovation and accessibility. Henry Ford's vision was to create a vehicle that was affordable for the average American, and he succeeded beyond anyone's expectations. Ford's innovative assembly line production methods made cars affordable for the masses. By streamlining the manufacturing process, Ford was able to reduce costs and increase production speed. This method of mass production was revolutionary and would go on to influence countless other industries. The Model T, a gasoline-powered vehicle, was mass-produced at an unprecedented scale, making it significantly cheaper than electric cars, which were still largely hand-built. The affordability of the Model T made car ownership a reality for many who had never dreamed it possible. This democratization of car ownership had profound social and economic impacts. The affordability and practicality of gasoline cars, coupled with the limitations of early battery technology, led to a decline in the popularity of EVs. Early electric vehicles struggled with limited range and long charging times, making them less convenient for the average consumer. In contrast, gasoline cars could be refueled quickly and easily, further tipping the scales in their favor. The tide was turning, and the infrastructure needed to support gasoline-powered vehicles was rapidly developing. Gas stations began to pop up across the country, making it easier than ever to refuel on the go. This growing network of refueling stations made long-distance travel more feasible and convenient. This further solidified the dominance of gasoline cars in the automotive market. Car dealerships began to flourish, offering a variety of models and options to suit different needs and budgets. The booming sales of gasoline cars were a clear indication that they had become the preferred choice for consumers. As gasoline cars became the preferred choice for consumers, the infrastructure supporting them grew exponentially. Roads and highways were constructed to accommodate the increasing number of vehicles, further facilitating the growth of the automotive industry. This development was not just about convenience, it was about transforming the way people lived and worked. This growth would prove to be a significant hurdle for EVs to overcome in the decades that followed. The well-established gasoline infrastructure made it difficult for electric vehicles to compete. However, the story of the automobile is one of constant evolution and innovation, and the challenges faced by early EVs would eventually lead to new advancements and a renewed interest in electric mobility. The rise of the gasoline car led to substantial investments in infrastructure that favored this technology. Vast networks of roads were constructed, and oil refineries sprang up to meet the growing demand for gasoline. Gas stations became ubiquitous features of the urban and rural landscape. This burgeoning infrastructure made gasoline cars increasingly convenient to own and operate. In contrast, the infrastructure for EVs remained underdeveloped. Charging stations were rare, and the limited range of early EVs made long-distance travel impractical. The economic implications of this infrastructure disparity were profound. The oil industry, fueled by the demand for gasoline, became a powerful economic force. Jobs were created and profits soared, further solidifying the dominance of gasoline cars. This economic and infrastructural dominance created a self-reinforcing cycle. As more people purchased gasoline cars, the existing infrastructure expanded, making it even more difficult for EVs to compete. The early lead that EVs had enjoyed in the automotive market had evaporated, and they were now facing an uphill battle against a well-established and rapidly growing competitor. While the growth of gasoline infrastructure played a significant role in the decline of EVs, technological limitations also hindered their progress. The early electric vehicles, though innovative for their time, faced numerous challenges that prevented them from becoming mainstream. The primary challenge for early EVs was battery technology. Batteries were heavy, expensive, and had limited storage capacity. This meant that the vehicles could not travel long distances on a single charge, which was a significant drawback for potential users. This resulted in EVs with short ranges, often only being able to travel a few dozen miles before needing a recharge, and long charging times. Unlike today's fast-charging technology, early EVs required hours to recharge, making them impractical for daily use. Early EV batteries were primarily lead-acid batteries, which were bulky and prone to damage. These batteries were not only heavy, but also took up a lot of space, reducing the overall efficiency of the vehicle. They also required frequent maintenance. Owners had to regularly check the water levels and ensure that the batteries were in good condition, which added to the overall cost and inconvenience, and had a limited lifespan. Over time, these batteries would degrade, losing their ability to hold a charge, necessitating frequent replacements. These limitations made them impractical for widespread use in automobiles. The average consumer found it more convenient to stick with gasoline-powered vehicles, which were becoming more efficient and easier to refuel. Furthermore, the technology for charging these batteries was in its infancy. Charging infrastructure was sparse, and the few available stations were often unreliable. Charging times were exorbitantly long, often taking several hours to fully charge a depleted battery. This was a significant inconvenience for users who needed their vehicles for daily commutes or long trips, often taking several hours to fully charge a depleted battery. This made EVs unsuitable for long journeys, as drivers would have to plan their trips around charging stops. This made EVs unsuitable for long journeys and limited their practicality for everyday use. The limited range and long charging times meant that early EVs were mostly used for short urban trips and limited their practicality for everyday use. The technological limitations of early EV batteries, coupled with the rapid advancements in internal combustion engine technology, made it difficult for electric vehicles to compete. Coupled with the rapid advancements in internal combustion engine technology, which were becoming more efficient and powerful, and the growth of gasoline infrastructure, which made refueling quick and convenient, effectively stifled the development and adoption of EVs for several decades. The convenience and efficiency of gasoline-powered cars overshadowed the potential benefits of electric vehicles. It would take a renewed interest in sustainable transportation and significant technological breakthroughs, such as the development of lithium-ion batteries, to bring EVs back into the limelight. Today, with advancements in battery technology and a growing focus on reducing carbon emissions, electric vehicles are once again becoming a viable option for consumers. The journey of electric vehicles has been a long and challenging one, but with continued innovation and support, they hold the promise of a cleaner, more sustainable future.